Onward, Christian soldiers. The Honorable David Dido Vega is now a soldier of Christ. Today we celebrate his life, his memory, his political legacy. And for family members and friends, they celebrate his love. Onward, Christian soldiers. The members of the Belize Defense Force pays their tribute. The government of Belize, the People's United Party, really unites today in celebration the life of an honorable man. I had the utmost opportunity to hear from some of his supporters, and they all say that he would have been one of the greatest representatives here in Corozal Bay. So today what we mourn the loss of something we don't even know, because a great character, a great legacy from the one and only, the Honorable David Dido. Not knowing what he would have brought to the table, not knowing the words of leadership that would have came from his mouth within the House of Representatives. But today we open our hearts and our mouths with true appreciation, and we say thank you. We will be arriving at the Corozal cemetery in just a few. The Belize Defense Force at this time. We are now here at the cemetery. We are now here at the Corozal Cemetery. The life, the political legacy, the love, the heart, the Honorable David Dido Vega. At this time, we are now arriving at the cemetery. Yes, sir. At this time, the official hearse at this time will be making its way up front through the official fireman squad. The Belize Defense Force united in memory and legacy, the Honorable David Dido Vega. Rachel, just line up here, there. 3 and 3, guys. 3 and 3. At this time, the casket will be removed from the hearse. The 6 official pallbearers, all dressed in their full PPE.
Alright guys.
The Honorable David Dido Vega. At this time, the tomb will be closed. Once again, for those of you joining us live, the official ceremony can be viewed on Love FM and the Government of Belize Press Office official Facebook page. You join us live through live events and designs, funeral arrangements by Hiram Funeral Home. With respect from the country of Belize, we take this opportunity to send our greatest of condolences to the family of the Honorable David Dido Vega. May God continue to bless you guys during this time. Our prayers extended to all supporters, all residents of Corozal Bay, of Corozal District, and the entire country of Belize. Our live will end as soon as the wreath have been placed, and then Love FM and the Government of Belize Press Office will take over all streaming from there. Once again, you are joining us live through live events and designs. We have in attendance the Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable Johnny Briceño. is the official funeral service. This is an official funeral service, not a state funeral. It's an official. And we're also joined by Positive Vibes Radio, joining us in this broadcast. So this is coming to you by the Government of Belize Press Office, Love FM, and Positive Vibes Radio. We're here again at the Mount Calvary Cemetery in Corozal town for the official funeral service for the life of the late Honorable David Dido Vega. At this time, we can see the main celebrant, who is Father Sergio Rafael Hernandez Perez. He's now at the podium. So this indicates that the service, the official service, should be starting anytime now.
Hoy del Espíritu Santo, hermanos, la muerte de nuestro hermano David, mejor conocido como Dido Vega, nos entristece y nos recuerda hasta qué punto es frágil y breve la vida del ser humano. Pero también tenemos la fe y el consuelo de que Él realmente no ha muerto, sino que está en el descanso de los justos, esperando la resurrección de la carne. En este momento especialmente triste y doloroso, oremos por su alma, oremos por su eterno descanso, oremos también por sus parientes, que han quedado con una gran tristeza y un gran duelo, pero también por esta nación, que había puesto muchas esperanzas sobre de Él. Oremos también para que nuestra esperanza no vacile. Del Santo Evangelio según San Juan. En aquel tiempo Jesús dijo a sus discípulos: no pierdan la paz. Si creen en Dios, crean también en mí. En la casa de mi Padre hay muchas habitaciones. Si no fuera así, yo se los habría dicho a ustedes. Ahora voy a prepararles un lugar. Cuando me haya ido y les haya preparado un lugar, volveré y los llevaré conmigo, para que donde yo esté, estén también ustedes. Y ya saben el camino para llegar al lugar a donde voy. Entonces Tomás le dijo: Señor, no sabemos a dónde vas. ¿Cómo podemos saber el camino? Jesús le respondió: yo soy el camino, la verdad y la vida. Nadie va al Padre si no es por mí. Palabra del Señor. Quisiera solamente dar unas muy breves palabras. El día de hoy estamos aquí reunidos con una gran tristeza, acompañando a una familia, también con nuestra oración acompañando a Ingrid Vega y a sus hijas, que tampoco desafortunadamente pueden estar en este momento con nosotros. ¿Está por acá Rayana? Ok. También estamos acompañando a sus hermanos, a su hermana, a sus hermanitos, a Celdi, a Germain, Elvi, Susi y al resto de su familia, que están tristes por esta gran pérdida. También estamos acompañando a un grupo de personas que lo estimaba realmente, que lo quería y que habían puesto muchas esperanzas en él. Muchos pueden decir qué tanto pudo haber hecho en un solo mes. Yo les quiero decir, y no por compararlo con Jesús, puesto que no hay una comparación, pero sí por poner un ejemplo. Jesús, aquí en la tierra de actividad, tuvo 3 años, y en 3 años logró fundar una religión donde profesamos el amor, la paz, la bondad, la misericordia y la compasión. Dido, por las pláticas con las que tuve oportunidad de tener con él profesaba también una fe muy grande por tratar de estar con los pobres. No amaba la pobreza. De hecho, quería eliminar la pobreza, pero sí amaba a los pobres y quería estar con ellos y se hizo amigo de ellos y estaba junto con ellos. Hoy, que este legado de un mes, pero de un trabajo previo junto con Ingrid, que deje a muchos este mismo interés que él mostraba, estar con el pobre, y no por ser pobre, sino porque quiere salir adelante con él. No dejemos que muera entonces esta memoria tan importante de alguien que luchaba en contra de un mal social. Luchemos por un bien social para todos nosotros, para toda esta nación, para que crezca, para que seamos mejores. Vamos ahora a cumplir con el deber de dar sepultura al cuerpo de nuestro hermano. Fieles a la costumbre cristiana, lo haremos pidiendo con fe a Dios, para quien todos estamos vivos, que admita su alma entre sus santos y que este cuerpo que hoy vamos a enterrar lo resucite el Señor un día lleno de vida y de gloria, que en el momento del juicio sea misericordioso para con nuestro hermano, para que libre de la muerte, absuelto de sus culpas, reconciliado con el Padre, llevado sobre los hombros del buen pastor y agregado al séquito del Rey eterno, disfrute para siempre de la gloria eterna y de la compañía de los santos. Los invito a que en un momento de silencio hagamos una oración por Dido. No temas, hermano, Cristo murió y resucitó por ti. El Señor te protegió durante la vida, por eso ahora esperamos que también te librará en el último día de la muerte que acabas de sufrir. Por el bautismo fuiste hecho miembro de Cristo resucitado. El agua que ahora vamos a derramar sobre tu cuerpo nos lo recordará.
And what is being done at this time is that the main celebrant, whose father Sergio Rafael Hernandez Perez, is going to the tomb. He's making his way to the tomb to bless the casket, bless the basket, the body with holy water. The main celebrant again is Father Sergio Rafael Hernandez Perez, and he has made his way to the tomb where the body of the late Honorable David Dido Vega is. The musician Enrique Rick Patch.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Christ, have mercy. O Christ, have mercy. O Lord, have mercy. O Lord, have mercy. Have mercy. Have mercy.
That was the singing there by the musician Enrique Rick Patch of Lord Have Mercy. We should be having, following the program, meditation,
Oremos.
hymn, and
En tus
a prayer.
manos, Padre de bondad, encomendamos a nuestro hermano Dido, con la firme esperanza de que lo resucitarás en el último día, lleno de vida y de gloria. Te damos gracias por todos los dones con los que lo enriqueciste a lo largo de su vida. En ellos reconocemos un signo de tu amor y un signo de comunión fraterna con todos los santos. Dios de misericordia, acoge las oraciones que te presentamos por este hermano nuestro que acaba de dejarnos y ábrele las puertas de tu mansión eterna, y a sus familiares y amigos, y a todos nosotros, los que hemos quedado en este mundo, concédenos sabernos consolar con palabras de fe, hasta que también lleguemos al momento de volver a reunirnos con Él, junto a ti, en el gozo de tu reino eterno. Por Jesucristo nuestro Señor. El Eulogy. Eulogy.
And we will again be joining the musician Enrique Ricpech for the meditation hymn that is titled You Are My Hiding Place. Following the meditation hymn, there should be the eulogy that will be delivered here today by Gilvano Swayze, followed by official remembrance by Honorable Florencio Marin Jr. and Honorable Karim Musa. We again join Enrique Ricpech.
You are my hiding place. You always fill my heart with songs of deliverance. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. You are my hiding place. You always fill my heart with songs of deliverance. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. Let the weak say I am strong in the strength of the Lord. You are my hiding place. You always fill my heart with songs of deliverance. Whenever I am afraid, when I am afraid, when I am afraid, I will trust in you.
And that was a beautiful rendition of the meditation hymn, You Are My Hiding Place, by Enrique
Que el Señor
Ricpech.
abra las puertas del triunfo a nuestro hermano. Terminado el duro combate de su vida mortal, entre como vencedora por las puertas de los justos y entone cantos de victoria por los siglos de los siglos. Y a todos nosotros nos dé la certeza de que no está muerto, sino que duerme, de que no ha perdido la vida, sino que reposa, porque ha sido llamado a la vida eterna por los siglos de los siglos. Dale, Señor, el descanso eterno. Y para él la luz. Que descanse en paz.
Those were words of the main celebrant, Father Sergio Rafael Hernandez Perez. And we also heard from Enrique Ricpech, who did the meditation hymn, You Are My Hiding Place, and also the singing of Lord Have Mercy. We'll be having the eulogy next.
Good afternoon.
It's being delivered by Gilvano Swayze.
On behalf of the family, we want to thank you all for joining us today in this very sad moment. It's a sad time and a scary time. It reminds me of the saying, he who feels it knows it. And today we're feeling it because we know what has happened. David Dido Vega, also affectionately known as D, was born on December 5th, 1973 at his home at 103 5th Avenue, Corozal town. Born to Elvia Swayze Vega and David Vega, who are both now deceased. Dido was the second child of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Iselda Vega, David Vega himself, Elvia Samos, Hermain Vega, Susie Vega, and Diego Vega, who had passed away. Dido attended St. Francis Xavier Primary School. His sister Seldy clearly remembers during the years of primary school that their dad put up a basketball hoop, and Dido fell in love with basketball from that day on. This also caused all the kids from the neighborhood to come to their house and play basketball. During his primary school years, Dee was an altar boy and also was in the Boy Scouts. Seldy remembers that their mother would encourage Dee and her to sell cookies at school to make some extra cash. But Dee was embarrassed, and he would return home without money and without cookies. So one day, the mother decided to have both Dee and Seldy work the team together, where Dee would hold the cookies and Seldy would collect. But Dee was still not too happy with this job, and he would throw away all the cookies, so he didn't have to do it. After primary school, Dee went on to attend Corozal Community College, where he, like his sister Seldy, again chose to study in the academic field to run away from their mom, who was a teacher and was teaching business at CCC. Dee was very athletic in high school. He was in the high school basketball and volleyball teams. During the years at high school, he met his high school sweetheart and future wife, Ingrid Mendez. Whilst attending high school, he would spend most of his time picking up empty soda bottles to make extra cash on the side. And he would also find weekend and holiday jobs in town. He realized that working hard and doing many jobs would pay off in the end, even after the cookie incident. After high school, Dee then went on to Corozal Junior College to major in mathematics and physics. After CGSE, Dee pursued further education at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, Florida. He graduated having a bachelor's in pure mathematics and a minor in physics. He continued more studies, and years later, Dee graduated with a master's in pure mathematics. During these years, Dee had to make many sacrifices. He had to work several jobs and also focus on his studies at the same time. He was an assistant teacher at Jacksonville and even worked at Wendy's, the fast food restaurant. His sister Susie remembers visiting with their mom on one summer vacation. Dee had asked that Ingrid pick him up from one of his part-time jobs. Susie asked delightedly if she could go along, and as they got closer to the location, Susie said that Dee was sitting on the sidewalk, hunched back, sleeping, and was tired as can be. This showed how much of a hard worker Dido was, and how willing he was to go the extra mile for his education. His sister Elvie remembers clearly a time when she was really, really down, and also attending the University of North Florida. Dido was there to comfort her and reassure her that everything would be okay and that he would always be there for her. This is a quality Dido has always shown throughout his life, being positive and always giving hope. In December of 2000, Dee married his high school sweetheart Ingrid, and later had 2 beautiful daughters, Brianna and Kelsey. Dee loved his girls with all his heart. They were his world. He always called them mi vida or mi amor. Ingrid was his nen, baby, or babe. Dido loved his family. Whenever he referred to them, he would say, my girls, including Ingrid. After teaching at the University of North Florida for a while, he decided he wanted to return home. He began teaching at the University of Belize in Belmopan for a while. Later on, he got a job at his hometown Corozal. At the Corozal Junior College. He taught mathematics for many years, and during this time, he became interested in politics. This was because he saw that many students struggling to make payment for their education. He knew this struggle, he himself been going through it for many years. He believed and felt that if he could be part of the government and the decision makers, he could help make a positive change for all. At first, people didn't know D. He had been away for so long. He lost his first convention by only 12 votes. After many years of pursuing and overcoming many obstacles, he finally won the general elections by 408 votes on November 11, 2020. The people of Corozal, Tong Bay were so happy. The gentle giant had won, and they had big hopes in him. A few days before his birthday, which was on December 5th, he fell ill. He tested positive for COVID-19. He battled with this deadly disease, and many people were praying and were concerned. On the 11th December, exactly 1 month after his victory at the polls, he was called by our Creator, who saw that he was suffering. Dee is now with his loving parents and little brother, and heaven has gained an angel. He is where there is no pain and no suffering. David Dido Vega, also known as Dee, leaves behind his wife Ingrid, his daughters Brianna and Kelsey, his brother Ermayin, sisters Seldy, Elvi, and Susie, sister-in-laws Daisy, Suzanne, brother-in-laws Enrique Samos and George Mendez, nieces and nephews Leanne, Ermayin Jr., Naila, Elijah, David Diego Vega, uncles and aunts, cousins, and many friends and supporters. Many remember David Dido Vega as a positive, forgiving, independent, no-worry kind of man who likes to tease. May he rest in peace and rise in glory. Amen. Thank you.
That was the eulogy given there by Gilvano Swayze. Coming up next, we should be having the official remembrance, and this will be done by the Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., who is representing government, and by the Honorable Karim Musa, who I've been told was a close family friend, and he will also be delivering some words. Making his way to the podium is the Honorable Florencio Marin Jr. for the official remembrance. This is the official funeral service for the late David Dido Vega.
Ecclesiastes 3:1-4 says, "There's a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to uproot, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to tear down, and a time to build, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance." Today, with heavy hearts, we gather to remember Honorable David Dido Vega, a man who, by his life and actions, I will never forget. Many are his actions that I would like to share with you a few of them that I have gathered from some of his friends. They all said that he knew how to work well under pressure. He was a renowned basketball player. Everyone remembers a famous game being played in Belize City at Excelsior High School for the Nationals. They say that was a tight game, and Dido was fouled. CCC was down by 2 points. He got the 2 free throws, and the stadium was packed. They said, "Dido, step up to the free throw line." And boom, Dido scores 2 free throws. Game went into overtime. His classmates have never forgotten how cool he was under pressure. In the year 2014, I remember Dido coming to me to say he was ready to enter the political field. I asked him, "Dido, you sure? This rough, you know." He told me, "Deputy, I'm as sure as the time I wanted my bachelor's degree. I had no money. I saved enough for a one-way ticket to Florida and went and just parked in front of the university." I asked him again, and he repeated the same story. From then, I was convinced that he had that drive, that inner strength, the right material to be a PUP standard bearer and one who would deliver for us. He did return successfully with his bachelor's degree. During this time, after he formally entered, we went through various elections, municipal and village councils. Always, he was front and center, never backing down. These were tough times when you're in opposition. Just his presence next to me helped me get through. I could tell you it was rough. Dido had a gift, a mathematical mind. I remember during the counting for the last municipal elections, like about 20 minutes afterwards, he texted me, "We are gonna win." I was skeptical, and so I called him. I called him, and he said, "I am in the counting room, and I am 99.6% sure we will win." Upon hearing that, I was celebrating already. Dido told me that. That's good for me. This skill he repeated for several village council elections in my area. I remember another time he was in the counting room, and he called me early. He said, "We win, deputy." That's all I needed to know. I never need to hear anything else. Afterwards, we asked him, how does he know? How does he know right shortly after the counting starts, the counting of the ballots? How does he know we will win? I believe it was his mathematical mind. He gave us some explanation that made sense at the time, but small minds like us not fully comprehend how he did it, but he did it. We could only marvel at his brilliant mind. He also had run for municipal elections previously to that. He gave his heart and soul. Dido was not successful in that, but one thing we all know, he made inroads to what was his successful career, sadly cut short. His colleague, his campaigner, one of his executive member, Teacher Zene, relayed to me one story that I believe really connects who this guy is. He said this young man said that he went to Teacher Dido and asked him for help. Dido, knowing full well that this young man's parents were UDP supporters, he did not hesitate. He immediately gave an assistance for the school fees. The student said, "Teacher Zene, we really needed that help. Of course, I will vote for him." No man stands so tall as when he stoops to help the less fortunate. David Dido Vega was a tall and a giant man. Goodbye, my friend. Your candle glowed long before your legend ever will. I will never forget you. Thank you.
That's the official remembrance given on behalf of government by the Honorable Florencio Marin Jr. We should be having now another speaker coming up to do official remembrance on behalf of the family. The Honorable Kari Musa, he's making his way to the podium. I have been told that he is a close family friend.
Prime Minister, opposition, members of parliament, the Vega family, Elvi, Seldi, Mayin and Susie, Brianna and Kelsey. Friends, as we gather in this Corozal Bay of what was once known as the Maya state of Chak Tumal, we come to say goodbye and show respect to our brother, whose ancestors endured invasion, occupation, and war. We must remain hopeful and never allow the fire that he kept burning to make the lives of people better diminish in any way. Dido Vega is a man that if you met him on a bus, you would feel after a 15-minute ride that he was your lifelong friend. He lived his life in full energy mode, engaging and passionate. Those who knew Dido loved him because he was fearless, charismatic, and inspiring. Many years ago, I remember this tall, imposing man coming into St. Mary's Hall in Belize City for a PUP convention. He had journeyed 90 miles to show his support for his political hero, the Lion of Fort George, Said Musa. And because he showed such admiration and respect for my father, I think it made me instantly connect with him. Now, many years later, having fought on the battlefield of Corozal Bay alongside Dido and his resilient and tenacious team, I can say that those tables have turned and Dido became my hero. Since that fateful evening in 2013, we not only remain political warriors, but friends, confidants, brothers. For years, Dido Vega built a political movement in Corozal Bay based on two big ideas: the community first and the youths at the table of power. Dido was a mathematician with an incalculable love for people. His work as a teacher established his credibility among the young, and he harnessed their aspirations into the work of nation building. So, his victory on November 11, 2020, was not just a Dido Vega or a PUP win, but a victory to shape a better society. Within days of his election victory, Dido came to lobby me and other ministers in Belmopan to chart the way forward on how he could help out his constituents. He wasted no time, and I sensed his urgency to deliver on his promises to the people. I would like the nation to know what the good people of Corozal Bay already knew, that Dido comes from a family of faith and love. His late mother, Elvia Vega, was beloved by the entire community, and she raised her son to live respectful in the service of others. Today, we gather in the community of Dido Vega. We gather thinking of his dear wife, Ingrid, who is in the hospital fighting the dreaded COVID-19. We gather thinking about Brianna and Kelsey, Dido and Ingrid's beautiful daughters. We are people of faith, and we come here humbly asking for your strength and guidance as the Vega family endures this unimaginable pain. Seldy, Elvi, Susie, and Mayin, your brother was a fighter like no other, a champion like no other. We owe it to the gentle giant to keep our appointment with history. We must work together to deliver on his dream, new hope for the Bay. I end with how he ended all of his phone calls with me. Okay, hermano, we stay so. Rest in peace, warrior of the Bay, Dido Vega. Thank you.
Those are words from the Honorable Karim Musa, who delivered words of remembrance, being a close family friend. And as you have heard his comments, his remarks, he definitely was a close family friend. Now we have words of remembrance by Leslie Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, everyone. As I gather from, I ask God to give me the strength to deliver this last remembrance of him. Tribute to my gentle, humble giant. Honorable David Sabas Vega, affectionately known as Dido, was a man not so little. When I say not so little, you may say yes. He was the big guy we all buck, hug, or had a long discussion with. Dido was the big guy indeed, the big guy with the big heart, the big math brains, the man with the big voice. You could have been living way at the corner, and you would have known Dido is coming from far. I met Mr. Dido back in 2013 at CGSC. At this time, I was already a graduate of the institution. He was never my lecturer, as we both loved two different things. He loved his math, and I loved my English. Going up the stairs to the CGSC bursar to get hold of transcripts. We met, and he hailed me. He had recalled I was one of the faces to be heading over to study abroad. He questioned why I did not go. Upon explaining and understanding, he then requested for me to join his political youth group. This is where it all started. The political connection was there. Somehow or the other, we just felt that good vibe within each other. Like they say in Spanish, nos cayó la sangre. Through the exchange of contact numbers, we began communicating. In the month of October, at the Maryhill Halloween Fair, I met him again. There, I now met the ambitious Dido, the big guy wanting to aspire and achieve greater things. Now, it was not only about a youth group. Instead, it was the time he wanted me to join his political movement and his road to air representative of Corozal B. We began hitting the streets in the early month of November 2013. This was his launch to electoral politics and movement to meeting the residents of Corozal B. I can clearly remember that Mrs. Jasmine Acosta and I were his first two faithful warriors to begin the march with him at Joseito Layout. Dido campaigned with a genuine, charismatic, and humble character to every home. It almost seemed as if he had been in politics for years. When expressing himself, I realized he did not require no written piece of paper to know his plans and visions. The guy was good. He spoke from the heart and how he wanted to bring positive changes to his constituency. It was not an easy battle for Dido to accomplish his dreams. Upon the journey, he encountered many barriers. Nevertheless, Dido was the warrior we all knew. He fought 3 conventions and 2 national elections. Out of these 5, he won 2 conventions and 1 national election, which made him the air representative of Corozal Bay last month, November. Yes, he was my champion, our champion, and son of the Bay. Mr. Dido, my sir, my birthday twin. If I would go on and on, the moments created together will make this an endless speech. You taught me so much. You taught me to discover so many hidden talents. You made me a brave warrior, taking away the shyness to better interact with people. You taught me to serve the people and to realize that when you think life is hitting you hard, there are many people out there being hit harder. You are a giving soul. You taught us to give without hesitation. I can clearly remember that if there was an extra meal at the PUP office and an underprivileged person would drop by, he would say, give him or give her. Mr. Dido, our gordito, we thank you for embracing your executive members as a family. We were not just supporters. You taught us to love and take care of each other. Today is a clear example. United in spirit or present here, we are here ensuring you're honored gracefully and that your legacy is embraced forever in the hearts of everyone watching. Sir, thanks to you, I met your amazing family, a family that made me one of their own and took me in as a daughter. We did not only share political journeys together, but also family trips, dinners, all upon your invitation. I became your right hand, the right hand that did not always want the spotlight. But you made it known that your accomplishments were also based on my hard work, sleepless nights, and dedication. You knew to give credit where it was due. 7 years walking side by side, and knowing this, my heart aches. I knew you had one more dream to accomplish, that dream of serving under a ministerial portfolio. But today I say, you are now the biggest ministers of all. You now serve in the ministry of God, guiding us and protecting us from above. I will remember your smile, your hugs, and your mentorship. The unbreakable bond we created will forever be cherished. I know that right now you would be telling me, no worry less, all will be okay, no stress. May your legacy live on, sir. You touched so many hearts in this life on earth. Along with others, I will ensure your girls are well taken care of and that I follow those same footsteps you left behind. Fly high into the kingdom of God, for I know those we love don't go away, but they walk beside us every day. Forever and always, I there with Dido.
Those were words of remembrance by Leslie Rodriguez. Coming up next, we should be having the playing of the Belize national anthem. So here again, that's the 21 gun salute. There will be the order of interment now, as you can hear in the background, the 21 gun salute by members of the Belize Defense Force. This all takes place here at Mount Calvary Cemetery in Corozal town for the official funeral service to honor the life of the late David Dido Vega. He was the representative for the Corozal Bay Division, which he won handsomely in the November 11th general elections. The order of interment here at the Mount Calvary Cemetery will be the burial rites to be performed. Then we have the official salute, the retreat, the playing of the last post. There should be a minute of silence, then the playing of the reveille, the handing of wreaths by government officials, the singing of hymns. That's the playing of the last post. Everybody here, the government officials, the family members and sympathizers are all standing as we have the playing of the reveille. The wreaths will be placed by 4 officials. We have 4 wreaths that will be placed. As soon as that comes up, we'll be relaying it to you, the order in which the wreaths will be laid. This broadcast is coming to you by the Government of Belize Press Office, Love FM and Positive Vibes Radio. We're at the Mount Calvary Cemetery here in Corozal town. We'll now be having a moment of silence. We have the playing of the reveille that is being played by the Belize Defense Force. This all forms part of the interment that is taking place at this time. And following the playing of the reveille, we should be having the laying of wreaths by the officials. That's what we should be having here following the program, this official spiritual service of thanksgiving for the life of the late Honorable David Dido Vega. This all takes place here at Mount Calvary Cemetery in Corozal town. It's a rather sad occasion. As I mentioned, we now have escorted to the area the cabinet secretary who is deputizing for the Governor General. We have the other officials walking to that area as the interment now should be taking place anytime now, following the laying of wreaths. Wreaths will be laid by Prime Minister John Briceño. We should be having one by the leader of the opposition, Patrick Faber, and as well one by the Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., who in this instance is representing the National Assembly. And the first, will be laid by the acting Governor General, who's deputizing. That is, he's deputizing out here for the Governor General. He's deputizing, and he should be laying the first wreath. He is being escorted to the area by a Foreign Service officer from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and handed the wreath, which will be placed on the tomb of the late Honorable David Dido Vega. This is an official funeral service. The soldier of the Belize Defense Forces is now presenting a wreath to the Prime Minister, John Briceño, for him to lay at the tomb of our fallen brother, his fallen colleague, the Honorable David Dido Vega. He has placed it at the foot of the tomb for the late Dido Vega. Another wreath will be presented at this time. This is being done by the members of the Belize Defense Force. He is making his way to the area and now being presented to an official who is also out here. Looks like the leader of the opposition. He is also one of the officials that placed the wreath, the Honorable Patrick Faber. He just located his wreath there in the immediate area of the tomb. This all forms part of the official funeral service here for the late David Dido Vega at Mount Calvary Cemetery. We now have taking his position the Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., who in this instance is representing the National Assembly, being a sitting member. He's being presented with that wreath that will be placed at the tomb of his fallen colleague, brother, friend, Honorable David Dido Vega. Again, this is the official spiritual service of thanksgiving for his life. We heard some touching and inspiring words by the persons who delivered the remembrance speeches. And people are out here to pay their last respects, as we say. The officials are now making their way back to their seats after placing the wreaths at the tomb of the late Honorable David Dido Vega. At this time we should be having some hymns that will be sung. Those who will be doing so should be making their way to that area momentarily, as the officials here present are standing as a flag is being presented to the Cabinet Secretary, Stuart Leslie. That's the Belize flag, and that will be handed over to family members. They'll be presented. He's presenting the Belize flag on behalf of the government and people of Belize to the family of the late David Dido Vega. On hand are the late Dido's siblings who are here to receive the flag. They have done so, which must love, affection, and admiration for their brother. The Cabinet Secretary, who is deputizing for the Governor General, is now making his way out. He is leaving the immediate area of the cemetery, the Mount Calvary Cemetery. The musicians, the Belize Defense Force, Guard of Honor, are now leaving as this brings us to an end of the official funeral service, the official spiritual service of Thanksgiving for the life of the Honorable David Dido Vega here at the Mount came through the courtesy of the Government of Belize Press Office, Love FM, and we were also joined by Positive Vibes Radio. Sympathizers, friends of the family, and other supporters are also expressing words of sympathies to the family members. It was indeed a pleasure and an honor to bring to you this official funeral service celebrating the life of the late Honorable Dido Vega. With us we had a team from the Government Press Office. They were here. We also had with us technician William Usher and myself, Remembrances, saying it was indeed an honor and a pleasure to have brought to you this official service. Again, just reminding you to keep social distance, wear masks properly, sanitize regularly, and wishing you and yours a safe and a blessed evening. From all of us out here at the Mount Calvary Cemetery, we say it's now back to studios.